Hey, what is up, folks? Zerofats here, coming at you on behalf of AdventuresOnTheRiver.com. First up, before I get into this video, I want to talk really quick to AdventuresOnTheRiver.com members. Let you guys know, got some cool stuff coming out in August, right? And in August, we're going to notice a little bit of a shift here, because while I want to give you guys, well, first of all, I want to give you another business plan for ebooks, okay? Last month I gave you a business plan for a way to do ebooks and a way to kind of, build a nice passive income. I got another business plan for you when it comes to ebooks. It's a little bit different, okay? And that kind of leads me to what I want to talk to you a little bit about with the shift in the website. Amazon is a great way to make money, and AdventuresOnTheRiver.com talks a lot about ways to make money using Amazon, okay? But that being said, one thing we haven't touched on AdventuresOnTheRiver.com is the affiliate program, Amazon's affiliate program. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The reason I haven't touched on it is because I think it's easier to make money using other affiliate programs besides Amazon's. I feel like Amazon's affiliate program is very, very traffic based. You have to drive a lot of traffic to your affiliate link to make a lot of money off of it, because it's such a low percentage of affiliate commission that you can make, and I don't really like that. I like things where you work smarter and not harder. So in my opinion, Amazon's affiliate program is one of those programs where sometimes it feels like you're working harder instead of smarter. So I'm not going to get too much more into that, but I just want to let you guys know I'm going to start shifting some things on AdventuresOnTheRiver.com and start teaching you guys about some things outside of Amazon a little bit. Like when it comes to this affiliate marketing thing. Okay, Amazon. I want to teach you about Amazon's affiliate program. I'm an Amazon affiliate, but at the same time, I know I've made more money with affiliate marketing using other sites like ClickBank or JVZoo or even eBay, the affiliate program. So I know you can make money faster, easier, better using some of these other sites, and you don't have to push as much traffic. So, in that way, I'm going to teach you about some affiliate marketing stuff and AdventuresOnTheRiver.com, but we're going to pull away from Amazon just a little bit to do it, because Amazon's a great resource, guys, but it's not the only resource, and it's not always the best resource to make you money when you're trying to work for yourself. So I want to let you guys know about that, all you members out there. I want to let you know about that. So if you start seeing a little bit of a shift away from Amazon in some areas, it's because I'm trying to teach you the best I can how to make independent dollars. And some of that includes stepping away from Amazon a little bit. Some of that includes using things in addition to Amazon to making that work for you. So I know maybe that doesn't quite make sense, but once you read that new business plan for the ebooks in August here, and you see some of the stuff I'm going to put in the members area in August, I think it'll be a little bit more clear. But that's fine. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. In August, like I said, we're going to have a new business plan for you guys. We're going to have several courses that are related to that business plan. Some stuff talking about membership sites. Some stuff talking about product creation. A brand new interview. From a great, great girl. I interviewed her last month. Well, I interviewed her this month, but for this coming August interview. Great, great girl. Longtime eBay seller. Man, really awesome entrepreneur, real fun to talk to her. So it was a real good interview, and I'm going to put that in the stories section for you guys this coming month in August. Man, I love the stories section. The stories section is awesome. It's allowed me to talk to people who I might not otherwise had the opportunity to really talk to. The stories section on AdventuresOnTheRiver.com, man, it's about the idea of just taking other people's stories and kind of talking to them about it. And it doesn't matter to me necessarily if they're successful or if they're unsuccessful or if they are on their way to success, if they're in the thick of it, whatever. I want to talk to other people who are entrepreneurs who have experienced trials, tribulations, worked through them, still fighting through them, have overcome them. Because one thing I've learned, I mean, I learn from all the entrepreneurs I talk to. I mean, you know, you can learn a lot of different ways, man. You can learn from your own failures. You can learn from other people's failures. A lot of times you can learn just by opening your ears up and listening. So, man, like I said, when I do these interviews for stories, I'm not just focusing on millionaires. When you talk about, like, I think last month or the month before, I did an interview with Skip McGrath. I mean, Skip McGrath is a super hugely successful guy. I mean, he's made millions of dollars online. But, you know, that's not the only kind of person I'm interested in. I'm interested in a lot of different kinds of entrepreneurs. So you guys are going to see some people like that coming up. You know, the person I just interviewed for this coming month doesn't really sell on Amazon, but they do sell online. They sell through eBay and through half.com and through some other channels, and you know, they're an entrepreneur and they've experienced independent dollars working for themselves, and you know, they have a story to tell, and it's an interesting story. I learned something from it. I got something from it. I think some of you guys will too, and those are the kind of stories I want to put in the stories section. So that's coming up. That's something to be excited about. Okay, let's shift this just a little bit. So that's for all you adventuresontheriver.com members. I'm going to embed this video in the members, in the on deck area of adventuresontheriver.com so you guys can see it there. But let me move on just a little bit, because I had a story I wanted to tell you guys, because the real focus of this video is perception. And I wanted to talk to you guys about perception, right? You know, and the thing about it is, let me talk about the perception, and let me do it with a story, okay? So several years ago, man, I had just, you know, gotten out of the military, and I'd moved to you know, I'd moved to Rhode Island. I'd moved to the east side of the country, and I was kind of like noticing that my neighbors, man, I'd notice every week on the way home from work on trash day, and my neighbors are putting out a lot of trash. They're putting out lots of, like, furniture and, you know, coffee pots and microwaves and just all kinds of weird stuff in their trash, you know. I lived in a decent neighborhood. I lived in a pretty decent neighborhood, I have to admit. But I kind of got this idea, man. I had this spare room in my house, you know. I said, look, man, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, like, I figured out when the trash day was in my neighborhood. And I said, man, you know what? Every night, the night before trash day, I'm just going to go around this neighborhood and I'm going to pick up, like, anything that looks good. Because, like, my neighbors are throwing away a lot of furniture. And they're throwing away a lot of stuff that, I don't know, it might not be trash to everybody. So, and I did that, man. And I went around the night before trash night and I picked up not all of their stuff, but I mean, like, their microwaves and their pictures and their sewing machines and coffee tables and just all kinds of stuff that they were throwing away. I picked them up and I stored them in this room. And man, this was going on probably through the winter time. And the idea in my mind was, look, man, I don't know what I'm going to do with all this stuff yet, but I'm storing it. I'm going to do something with it. But then I kind of thought, like, when it got to springtime, I started seeing all the garage sales. I said, man, I'm going to have this big old garage sale. And this idea was just brilliant to me, man, because I thought, you know what? I've gathered up all my neighbors' garbage, and I'm going to sell it back to my neighbors, right? I'm going to sell it back to them. So this is what I did, man. I gathered up all their stuff, man. I had it stored in my spare room. Microwaves, old paintings, sewing machines, coffee tables, you know, coffee pots, you name it, books, all kinds of junk that these people had just thrown out all winter long. And, like, I gathered it all up. I had a room full of stuff, man. And when yard sale season hit, I put all that stuff out on the lawn, and I had a big old yard sale, alright? And I sold all my neighbors' stuff back to them. Right? The same junk I'd been collecting out of their garbage for months now. And I sold it right back to them, man. And I made like several $100s on that garage sale. And my neighbors were coming around looking at my stuff, and they're like, man, would you take, I'd have like $10 on the microwave, whatever. Man, would you take $5 for it? Yeah, man, sure, I'll take $5 for it. Tell me a story. Tell me a good story about what you're gonna do with this microwave. What are you gonna make for it? And I'll give it to you for $5. You know, and I developed like a repertoire with them, and I just talk to them. You know, because in the end, it's about, you know, forming relationships with people. And if you can even form a little relationship with someone, usually you can get things to go the way you want them to go, right? But the funny thing about it was, man, it was just perception, man. My neighbors threw all that stuff away in the garbage like they didn't need it anymore. And then they came back and bought it off of me. Like, they didn't realize they were buying each other's garbage. They didn't realize it. And it was a beautiful thing, man. And I had no money invested in it. Like, and I made a few $100s off of this garage sale, and I was just selling my neighbors' garbage back to them. They all threw it out. And the funny thing is, I just sold it right back to them. Like, Bob's, you know, stereo got sold to Pete, who lives next door to him, for $5 or for $10, right? Bob just threw it out 2 months ago. Pete picked it up for $20 at my garage sale. It was amazing. It was just amazing. But it was all perception, right? I mean, it was sitting in their house, and like they didn't want it anymore, so they throw it out. Then I come along, pick it up, I put a price tag on it, and sell it to their neighbor. Why? Why does that work? I mean, it's amazing. It's like, it's just the perception of value, you know? It's just that perception of value, you know? Things are as valuable as people see them to be. So, you know, why was that stereo worth $10? You know, why? 2 months ago, Pete didn't think it was worth anything. He threw it out in his garbage. 2 months later, Steve will pay me $10 for it. Why is it worth $10? Because I put a sticker on it that said it was $10, and it's in a garage sale, and at garage sales, people buy things. People don't get things for free, they buy them. That's the perception. It's in a garage sale, it has a $10 sticker on it, it must be worth $10, right? I mean, if it would have been at a pawn shop, it wouldn't have been $10, it would have been $25. But it's at a pawn shop, and that's a going rate for a stereo at a pawn shop, so now it's worth $25. But you're in a pawn shop, and the sticker says $25. And most pawn shops don't negotiate that much, so don't even think about negotiating it, right? That's the perception. I mean, it's just the perception. Where it's at, what it says on it, it's like a perception. 2 months ago, it was in this guy's garbage. The perception is it's not worth anything. It's free. I can just pick it up and take it. So, I mean, like, think about that. You know, think about those perceptions and things when you're picking up things or you're finding things, especially these things that you find on, you know, you find when you're out and about and you're trying to list them on Amazon or whatever, and you don't see a listing for that item. You know, you can do some market research. You can kind of see what the ballpark figure on something is. And you go with that market, but there'll be things you find without a market. Like, you're like, what in the world? I don't know what to charge for this thing. And then you really gotta, you know, start thinking about your instincts, because then it really becomes a matter of perception, like what people perceive it to be. Yeah, so it's funny. I'll tell you another. I love telling that story about the garage sale because it was an amazing experience to be able to sit there on my lawn and sell my neighbor's garbage back to them. And they ate it up, man. I sold like everything. I had a yard sale for like 3 days, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and like people were trying to negotiate prices with me, because that's what you do at a garage sale, right? You negotiate prices. And like me, I'm just selling them their garbage back to them, so I got no problem negotiating prices. I'm like, yeah, man, that's cool, we do that. And I'll say something like, listen, man, everything's got to go before Sunday, man, because we're getting ready to move out of here, and like, it's all got to go. So, you know, and that just spurred them to buy more stuff, you know. So it all worked out, man. I ended up with nothing left in that garage sale, sold all that stuff back to them, and it was awesome. So think about that, man. When you guys are going out there and you're selling things and you're trying to sell things and you're buying things, whether you're using Craigslist, whether you're using eBay, whether you're using Amazon, think about that perceived value. I mean, it's super powerful. It makes so much of a difference. you know, it's amazing. And the perceived value is the only reason things like Amazon and eBay even work. You know, why can you go to someone's garage sale, buy a coffee mug for 25 cents, and then, you know, go online and you can sell it for $25? But this guy has this perceived value that this coffee mug with this cat on it is worth $25 because he's going to get it from Amazon, and it's going to come in a little Amazon box, and he's got free 2-day shipping. So it's worth 25 bucks. But man, it came from this cat's garage down the road from my house, and I paid 25 cents for it. It's amazing. So it's funny. So think about that. Think about that perceived value. And I'll tell you another story. It kind of goes into that whole thing. Man, a while back I was really into snapback hats. I was really into selling them. I really kind of enjoyed restoring them, finding them when they were kind of in beat up bad shape, and kind of trying to restore them to where they were able to be sold. And it was kind of a labor of love, right? Because the thing about it was, you know, it kind of takes a lot of work to restore snapback hats if they're beat up and dirty. So it was kind of a labor of love. But I liked doing it. I enjoyed it, so I did it. And it was cool, you know, to buy a hat for like 10 cents, or if someone just gives it to you for free because it's beat up and dirty, and then you're able to like take a little time, put into that thing, and make it something awesome looking, and then someone buys it off you for like $25. You know, it's awesome. So anyway, I was into that for a while, and I had a bunch of snapback hats, and I sold some of them, and then I had some of them that I donated to Goodwill. I think I donated them to Goodwill. Because, you know, I was out of the snapback thing. I didn't feel like doing it anymore, so I donated what I had left. But this one hat, man, I had a Cleveland Browns hat, and it was a logo athletic. And if you don't know about snapback hats, you probably don't know or care what that is. But it's just a brand of snapback. It's vintage. It's like from the 80s. But it was a logo athletic Cleveland Browns hat, man. And I got this thing at a thrift store for like 20 cents, 25 cents, like a quarter. Man, and I restored this thing, and my girlfriend helped me do it. She put it through the washing machine for me the first cycle, and then I did some more work on it, and we got it to where it was just looking awesome. You know, it was looking really good. So I had this hat, man, and then I thought I was restoring it because I was thinking, man, I'm gonna wear this hat. You know, I love the Browns. I'm gonna wear this hat. You know, but what happened was, it wasn't really my style of hat. You know, I like the hats with these bills that curve down like this, and this one didn't really do that. It wasn't that kind of a hat. So, you know, I didn't like the way it looked on me, so I didn't want to wear it. So what I did was, I didn't have the heart to donate it because I love the Browns too much, and I love this hat too much. I couldn't donate it. So it sat on my shelf, with my Cleveland Browns little shelf that I got with my Cleveland Browns memorabilia, you know, and it just sat there for months, right? So then finally, you know, my dad, you know, my dad's been having these health problems lately, and I went to visit him yesterday. But before I left, like I looked at that hat, and I just kind of got like this, you know, like idea, this notion in my mind. Maybe God put it there, I don't know. But I got this idea, this notion in my mind that, man, my dad, I'm going to give that hat to my dad. My dad would love that hat, you know. I'm going to give it to him, right? And I took it there to him. You know, he was at the hospital, and I took it there to him, and I said, Dad, man, listen, I found this hat at a thrift store, and it was dirty and beat up when I found it, man, but I watched some videos, and I figured out how to restore it and get it good, and now look at it, and I wanted to give it to you. And I gave it to him, and man, that hat made his day. Man, he loved that hat. He instantly took he had a Tennessee, he loves the Volunteers. He had a Tennessee Volunteers hat on. He instantly took it off, put it down, and put this Cleveland Browns hat on, right? And I said, Dad, you can't get a hat like that anymore, man. They came from the 80s. You know, that's an old school hat. I just worked on it to get it looking nice, you know. And he said, I know, I think I had a hat just like this back in the 80s. And I said, you're kidding me, that's insane, you know. But, man, I gotta tell you, man, the feeling I got from being able to connect that hat, I mean, taking that hat from being dirty and old and beat up where nobody wanted it at the thrift store, to being able to restore it and then connecting it to my dad. And when I connected those two things together, I could just tell, like, yeah, that's where that hat was meant to go. That's where that hat needed to be, you know. And man, that's a beautiful feeling, and I don't feel that very often, to be able to connect an item with the person it was just meant to be connected to. But maybe that's why, you know, deep down we resell things sometimes. Maybe that's why we do that. That's part of the reason, maybe. Yeah, we're in it to make money and stuff, but man, there's a really good feeling there to be able to connect an item to somebody who really, you know, loves that thing or whatever. You know, like my dad loved that hat. So it was weird, man, to be able to take that hat and to set it on my shelf for months and finally connect it with someone who it made that kind of a difference for. So I guess that's the other thing, you know, that perceived value. You know, you think about a hat sitting at a thrift store that there's no value, you know, and they just want trying to get rid of them, and they're beat up and dirty. Then to be able to connect something like that with someone who really cares about it, you know, to be that kind of facilitator it's an awesome feeling. So I guess, you know, what I propose to you guys is, if you run into things and you know, it just doesn't make sense for you to sell them anymore, but for some reason you can't donate them or you can't let them go, look around you, look around your family, look around your friends. See if you can find someone who might really love that item more than you do, and see if you can find a home for it, you know, because it's not always about the money, right? I mean, we like to help people, right? I mean, I think, at least I do, I know I do. I mean, I get a joy out of helping people, and you know, the weird thing is, man, it's a funny thing, man. When you start helping people, it seems like the money kind of takes care of itself, but like, try to help people, and the money seems to kind of take care of itself. You know, I don't know why it works that way. I don't know. Maybe it's divine intervention. I have no idea. But I guess I just wanted to share that story with you. You know, it's kind of about perception. You know, it's about perception. Something that's not worth anything to one person can be worth quite a bit to somebody else. And sometimes that person can be right around the corner and you just don't even know it. So think about that. You're going out there to these garage sales, or you're importing things from China. You know, you mess up and you import a crate of bottle openers, and you thought that it was going to be like the best thing since sliced bread, and you're going to make a ton of dough off of them. And all of a sudden you can't sell them. But you know what, man? Maybe you can find like a homeless shelter down the street that could really just like use those bottle openers. And you know what? I can tell you one thing. You'll get a blessing from that, man. You will get a blessing in your heart and in your soul from donating that stuff sometimes. That it's a little hard to describe. You can't really describe it in words. But just keep in mind, man, at the end of the day, it's not always about the bottom line. Sometimes it's going to have to be about, you know, your soul. Or sometimes it's going to have to be about your heart. Or sometimes it's just going to have to be about something more than the dollar. Because, you know, we are in the world where, you know, hey, we need money to survive. But, man, that's not really all we need to survive, is it? I mean, we need each other to survive too, right? I mean, think about everything that connects you to happiness, right? I mean, most of the time it involves other people, whether it be someone buying something off of you so that you can afford to get the car you want or get your car fixed or whatever, or whether it involves, you know, the person you're with and you know, them being happy makes you happy. A lot of things that connect us to happiness involve other people. So at the end of the day, man, don't make it just about money. I mean, money is important, and I want you all to learn how to make money for yourselves without being dependent on a company. But also remember, man, it's not always just about money. You know, a lot of times it usually is also about other people as well. So anyways, you know, I'm not sure how good I conveyed my message with this video, but I hope I did. I hope you guys got something out of it, and I will catch up with you guys next video. Peace.